This video is about applications of linear inequalities. Let's take a look at this example. Here we have Kyle, who needs an average of 93 or higher. Now this piece right here, 93 or higher, looks like something will be greater than or equal to 93. And that's what makes this a case of an inequality. Now as we continue reading, you can see this is about an average on 5 exams, and we know the first 4 exam scores. And the question is, what score does he need on the last exam to get an A? So the first thing we want to do is decide what should the variable be. In this case, take a look at the question. What score does he need on his last exam to get an A? That's your clue. That's what we need to use X for. So X will be the score on his last exam. Now we need to think about how will we set up the inequality. For this, think about how you get the average. We're talking about the average of 5 exams. So don't we need to add up the 5 numbers, add them all up, and divide by 5, right? That's how we get the average. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to take his scores, and here are the scores on his exams: 92 plus 95 plus 88 plus 94. Those are the first 4 exams. The score on his last exam is X. All of that divided by 5, that will be his average. We want it to be 93 or higher, so this has to be greater than or equal to 93. That's the inequality we're going to use to solve this problem. Since we have a 5 in the denominator, we'll multiply both sides by 5. That way on the left side we get left with just the numerator, and on the right side we're going to need to multiply 5 times 93. There we go. And now continuing, I need to add these numbers together. That adds up to 369. So I have 369 plus X is greater than or equal to 465. Think about what you need to do next. To get X by itself, we need to subtract 369 from both sides. And that brings us to X is greater than or equal to 96. And you might think you were finished. Seems like we found a result for X. However, we did all this work, but we're not quite finished. Why not? Remember, the question didn't ask us about X. We need to do something else in our answer. In fact, what do we need to do? We used X, and that was great, but we have to go back to what the question actually is. And X should not be part of the final answer. In order to get our final answer, we're going to look at the exact question that was being asked. What score did he need on his last exam to get an A? Our answer should be very specific to that question. There we go. He needs to get a 96 or higher on his last exam in order to get an A.